Hello and welcome to part 5 of the FM Russia 2018 preview, and today we're going to be looking at the best players to watch in Group G. I'm Tom, you may recognise me from the FM show, and I'm joined as ever by Steve here from Scouted Football. How you doing, mate?
Doing very well, thank you.
Good stuff, good stuff. Before we get into looking at the players in Group G, once again a reminder that Football Manager 2018 is available now on sale for up to 66% off, so go and grab it while you still can. And keep an eye on the Football Manager Instagram page where we'll be giving away lots of prizes over the coming days and weeks of this tournament. We're already giving away some absolute belters and there's going to be more to come your way very, very soon. But now's as good a time as any to jump straight into the Group G ones to watch, so let's get started. So we're going to kick things off with Thomas Meunier. Now, his nation aren't renowned for necessarily playing with a fullback, but he's going to be starting there and he can really help out defensively, but if they do need support in the final third, he can really lend that as well because he bombs forward a lot of the time for at club level.
Yeah, so it's nice to see them actually starting with a fullback, something they haven't done in recent history, and it'll give them another outlet, someone that can get forward at club level in France. He's scored quite a few goals from fullback, provided a fair few assists in a very attacking team, and you'd hope that his nation are going to play a similar attacking style to what he's used to. And especially on the other side at fullback, he should have some cover of players tucking in. Yeah. And it'll give him a bit more license to get forward and take advantage of those qualities that he has.
And exactly, I mean, if you look at, if on paper, it should be a case that his nation are actually going forward more often than they're actually being asked to defend against, particularly in the first two group games. You'd think that they're looking to sort of assert themselves on the opposition and give him basically a free rein to patrol down that right flank. And you know, his stats show that he can do exactly that. He's got 14 for crossing, 13 for dribbling. So he's quite comfortable on the ball. He's not a defensive fullback who's just going to be content to knock it to the nearest midfielder. He's actually going to be comfortable on the ball. First touch 13, passing 14, technique 14. So he's very technically gifted, and his stamina's 15. So it's going to be key for him to maintain that.
Bombing up and down, up and down, up and down. And he's got a lot to aim at up front as well. A lot of attacking talent up front to work with. So when he bombs forward, he's got something there to target.
And I think it'd be good for him as well, given the fact that those first two group games are seemingly, not certainties, but they're certainly games that his nation are expected to win. Gives him a bit of room to grow a little bit.
Work into the tournament and find his rhythm.
Yeah, because it's the same for every player that they're going to have to suss out what they're feeling like coming off the end of a long season, in a foreign climate as well. So more time he's got to actually adjust to that, the better. And given the confidence that he's going to have from probably not having too much to do at the back, I think it could be a really, really potent threat going forward as well. Let's move on now to talk about some of Meunier's teammates. And this nation in particular, I think it's well documented. I think everyone knows that there's a lot of depth in this one, a lot of talent. But international tournaments aren't won by the best starting 11. They're won by the teams that can actually utilise that depth at their disposal and can bring on players like this guy, like Leander Dendoncker, who can actually make an impact off the bench, come in and shore things up in midfield and really act as sort of, in that last 20-minute period, act as someone who's going to see the game out and not do anything silly or not risk anything if they're protecting a narrow lead.
Yeah, he could also be really important further along throughout the tournament. As the yellow cards start to accumulate, a player that can play a variety of roles, either in centre back, the base of midfield, or as a standard midfielder. So he could be important in that as well. As far as attributes are concerned, again, likes to play it simple, isn't too outlandish, will do the right things, and hopefully not make too many mistakes. So just a simple, standard, but effective player.
Yeah, I mean he's a hard worker as well. He runs all day and he tries to really shore things up and bridge that gap between defence and midfield, and he does it superbly well. You look at his stats here. He's got 14 for heading, as I said, stamina 16. So that's it reinforces the fact that he can just run up and down all day and patrol those lines. 14 for tackling, 14 for marking, 14 for heading. So again, very defensively minded. Exactly the sort of person you want to bring off the bench if you are protecting a narrow lead. And the luxury that they have of having all these great attacking players, they're going to need to focus on defence, particularly in the latter stages, as you say. Maybe they pick up a couple of yellow cards and miss players through suspension. Maybe they pick up a couple of injuries. So players like this on the bench are going to be really, really pivotal to their chances. And every chance he could maybe use this as a chance to force a move into one of the top European leagues.
Yeah, I think he's definitely going to be aiming for a move. So it gives him a good chance to springboard into something substantial in the summer.
Definitely. Well, we're expecting big things from Den Donker. Now on to Yuri Tielemans, and again, this is like a few of the players we've profiled in the series so far. He's definitely one player that I think a lot of you will be familiar with at home. I certainly signed him in the past. We all know what his potential is like. He's definitely one who could be a world-class superstar in the future, and has already started to make an impact at club level as well.
Yeah, well, he's kind of struggled this season since he's moved to France, and he's still working his way into it at club level after leaving his home country and really excelling there, especially in European competition. But heading to this tournament, he's probably going to struggle to see a lot of minutes. There's not a clearly defined role, even off the bench, that he looks like he'll fit into. There's potential that he could be a player they look to if they decide to play more of a counter-attacking game, that he can come off the bench. He's okay defensively, and will look to play expansive passes, and then if he can get forward and he's got a cracking long shot on him, either foot, he's proved that he can shoot from distance and score. So it's hard to see a real clear role for him, but he does have attributes to fit in somewhere if they need him.
Exactly. I mean, it's such that central midfield in this team is such a difficult place to try and squeeze into, even if you have all the talent that Tielemans has. But I think you're right. He's got a lot of options that he can offer. That long shot ability you talked about as well. His penalty taking stat of 16 there. Extra time he could be called upon to come on and give them a chance of netting a penalty in the shootout if needed. He's got such a good all-round game, and you can see there his mental attributes are just a sea of green. He's got such a good footballing brain. His first touch is excellent. His passing is excellent. His technique's excellent. So he does offer various options where they could try and move him in. And we said with Dendonka there's going to be maybe injuries, suspensions. He may find himself just pushed into the team by that. You just never know, and I feel like he's the sort of player who will take his chance if he gets it.
Yeah, the only problem that I think he has is that he's not a clear like-for-like replacement of any of the other starting midfielders, so it's hard to... They have to change the system to fit around him if they want to bring him into the team. So that would be probably the major thing that will stop him from getting minutes off the bench.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one. They do have, as we said earlier, a lot of depth in that team. And it may be that they maybe change formation, but I still think that there's definitely a place where he could slot in. And who knows if it does happen that they are short of players after injury, suspension, or they're chasing the game, or alternatively, because he offers that versatility, he can help them shut it down as well. So
with his control and ability to set the tempo and play simple, accurate, clean passes.
Anyway, enough about Tielemans. Let's move on to look at one of the other players to watch in this group, and it's Michael Murillo. Now, this is a player who I think has all the hallmarks of that classic fullback. Maybe, focusing more on the defensive side than necessarily seeing him bombing forward time after time like you do see with a lot of particularly the European fullbacks. But I think he can definitely offer something to his national team as well.
He's got that real Central American style. Really likes to sit back, defend, make sure he's got his defensive duties under control. It'll fit in with what his nation's going to try and do. They'll try and sit back. They'll try and hit on the counter. Very physical, and they'll try and stamp their foot on the game in that type of way. Nothing too tricky, nothing too expansive. They'll just try and shut it down, and he should be a part of that on the wing.
Definitely. I mean, you can see here the stat that jumps out straight away is his determination, which is a perfect 20. So, if nothing else, he's going to
try very
hard to stop teams scoring against him. But he's also got, his acceleration and pace of 14, and his stamina suggests that he's going to be the sort of player who doesn't let pace and physical attributes outshine him. He's up against some really, really pacey wingers in this group. And I think that it's going to be key to his nation's chances of him preventing those attacks down the right flank. And I think he could be really, really pivotal in relieving some of the pressure on his team's defence and his goalkeeper.
I think the difficulty he may have is when those types of players start to cut inside and try and drag him in and out of position, and whether he can have the mental fortitude to stick to that structure that they're going to deploy and to stay his position and don't allow those players to draw him out and let others into the space he's going to vacate if he does that.
Yeah, that's a very good point, because his attributes, his technical attributes, are so defensively minded that they're almost classic centre-back attributes. You know, we're talking about heading, marking, and tackling. You know, they're the sort of things you'd expect to see from a more centrally minded player. Maybe expecting a couple of more indicators on the mental side that will help him compete against the players who are looking to cut inside, move on to a favoured foot. But it is a massive chance for him to shine on an international stage, and we've seen time and again where players meet the occasion, and it's going to be players like Murillo who are going to have to step up and do exactly that if their team are going to have any chance of success.
Any chance.
Yeah, I mean, it looks a horrible group for this team, but you know, they've got nothing to lose, and I think that could really help inspire them and hopefully deliver some good performances. Moving on now, we're going to look at Wabi Kazri. Now, this is a player who is pretty much going to be reliant on him to score the goals if his team are going to have any chance of progressing out the group. And on his day, he's certainly capable of doing that, isn't he?
On his day, he is. At times, he can wilt under that type of expectation. He can have really off days where he's a total liability, really, to be out in the field. But yeah, when he's on, can score from outside the box, can work into the box, interchange with others. So he's gonna have his work cut out as the focal point. But if his nation can have any chance, he's gonna have to be one of the players that really, really shines.
I mean, his attributes aren't bad. That's something to note in particular. His dribbling, his technique, both 15. He's got 13 for first touch, 14 for free kicks. So you know
that's really an opportunity that they're going to have to.
I think
going to rely on to.
I think that's going to be where they have to really attack is from set pieces. We know set pieces are almost like the great leveller now, aren't they? You see less fancied sides using them as a chance to try and exploit maybe some of the physical frailties, particularly in the teams that are expected to progress from this group. They're maybe not the best organised defensively, so potentially room there.
And he's got that real nice whip delivery as well. That can be really dangerous.
And same from corners. His corners attribute is 16, so it suggests that he's going to be a danger from all set pieces really, which is going to be key for maximising their chances. And if he can put one in the back of a net and open play as well, then all
that
the
helps.
all the better. So I think he definitely, on his day, has the potential to really be the leading light for his nation, and hopefully will be enough to put them in contention of progressing into the next round. But that's all we've got time for this part of the Russia 2018 preview. That was Group G that we've just looked at there, and join us tomorrow. We'll be looking at Group H. But before we go, don't forget that once again, Football Manager 2018 is on sale as of right now for 66% off. So after you've gone and watched this, go and get it downloaded, and you too can be managing the likes of the players that we've talked about today. And also, one final reminder to check the Football Manager Instagram as well, where we're going to be giving away prizes throughout the competition. We've already given away some absolute belters so far, but there'll be more to come your way. So get involved, and who knows, you could be walking away with a lovely little prize. But once again, join us tomorrow afternoon when we're doing the final part of our Russia 2018 preview. We'll be looking at Group H. If you want to find out more about any of the players featured in today's episode, then go and download FMDB, which is available now on iOS and Android.